So you notice that for our IR, we now have the green strip pointing up towards the patient's leg, right? It's no longer going down towards the toes.
You did it for the one you did
Yeah.
with the
Oh
patient,
yes, for the
right?
calcaneus as well. Yes.
So only the finger and the foot, like the green strip.
Yes, only toes and foot. The green strip's going to go towards the toes.
There's no angulation on this
Mm.
one?
For the ankle, no. Not for the ankle. All right. So a lot of texts, a lot of the old school texts will tell you that you want to dorsiflex the foot for the ankle. Okay, the newest edition of Bontrager's recommends against this. Okay, so instead they say just leave this in a neutral position. Okay. Your centering is going to be here between the malleoli, so I'm going to come a little bit proximal. Good. So I just want to be between the malleoli, mid-ankle, right here. I'm going to slide this up towards you, Amy. Good. Okay. So we just want to make sure that this is AP. You're going to be pretty much going straight down this leg, straight through the ankle, straight up this third metatarsal here. Okay.
So is it gonna be like, cause I just straightened it out, like,
Yeah, so just like this.
okay.
Okay. For our collimation, we're going to be grabbing, because we are in neutral position, right? We're going to be grabbing some of these metatarsals. We're going to be grabbing the distal part of the tibia and fibula.
I just want to see where the collimation goes.
Okay, and the marker, of course, will be on the lateral side of the anatomy. And we can probably collimate in even more sideways at least. And then I should fix my SID while I'm at this. Okay, so 40 inch SID. Okay, centered here right between the malleoli, collimating to the distal metatarsals, collimating distal part of the tibia and fibula, marker on the lateral side. Now, for the ankle, we have two obliques. Okay, we have a mortise or mortise. I'm actually not sure how you pronounce that. So I'll switch between them whenever I feel like it. And we have the true oblique, okay? So for our ankle mortise, we are gonna be turning about 15 to 20 degrees. Okay, so did you go over anatomy with Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Kind
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. All right, so main idea is you've got the talus here, right? On top of the talus, you have the tibia. On one side of the talus, you've got this malleolus from the tibia. On the other side of the talus, you have this malleolus from the fibula, right? So there are 3 joint spaces around this talus here. The goal of the mortise is to open up all 3 joint spaces at the same time. How do you do this? You do a 15 to 20 degree oblique. This is when you are lining up these malleoli parallel to the IR. Right, so earlier, right, they were uneven. Now we're going to get them parallel. Okay. A lot of texts, what they'll do instead is when they oblique the patient, as long as you're coming straight down the leg, they're going to come here to about the 5th digit. That's going to be about 15 to 20 degrees as well. Right, so that's kind of a tech shortcut. Right? So as you may notice, this is not a big oblique. It's just a small, right, 15 degree rotation medially. Okay, collimation remains the same. Okay, so we're still going to collimate here, distal tibia fibula. Still going to collimate there to about the metatarsals. Right. Any questions about Mortise? Everyone okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the true oblique of the ankle. In this case, we are actually going to go to 45. So I'm going to turn you all the way 45, right? So long axis of the foot, 45 degrees. So the purpose of this one now isn't to look at those joint spaces, but it's to keep the tibia and fibula from being superimposed. Right? So you're going to be able to see the back portion of the tibia this way, right? It's also recommended that for this one, you do try and dorsiflex the foot at least slightly. Good. Right, so 45 degree, more dorsiflexion of the foot. Okay. You should also be able to see the base of the fifth metatarsal here. Okay, so do not collimate so much that you cut off the base of this fifth metatarsal. Leave it open enough so that you can see it still.
This is the oblique.
This is the oblique ankle, yes.
Base of first metatarsal.
Base of the fifth metatarsal right here. All right, so relaxing. And now we have the lateral ankle. Okay, so just like everything we've done so far, we're going to turn the leg outward, bend the knee about 45 degrees. Good, so you don't need to have so much bend. You can straighten it slightly. There you go. Good, so just a slight bend, a slight flexion of the knee, right? Just enough so that we can easily control the leg and the foot this way. We are now going to have dorsiflexion of this foot. Right? We do want to try and get this 90 degrees. Okay. Oops. Come back. Good. Pull back. All right. What is our centering this time? Good. So remember, with the calcaneus, we were an inch below the medial mal. This time we're going to be directly at this medial malleolus. Right? And it makes sense because that is kind of like right there in the center of the ankle. Okay, I'm just going to center my IR here. Good. Let go. Slide over. Let's get that medial mal right there in the middle. Okay, straighten your foot out just slightly. Good. A little bit more, perfect. Okay, so we still have that 90 degrees, right? We have a lateral. We are going to be, if you look at our collimation, right, we are getting down past the calcaneus. We are getting the distal tibia and fibula, right? And we are going to get a little bit into those metatarsals. Marker is going to be here, anterior left.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm looking at that picture and I noticed that they don't have, that there's no OID, and right now I feel like, well, I'm not touching the IO completely with my legs. So I don't, is that the right way or is this way?
You
okay?
Like, do I have, for the patient, like
So
whenever
you
we're
fold it
doing
in,
it, like, do it have to like completely lay down?
So no, because you don't want to over rotate.
Okay.
So if you take a look here, you can actually see that they have a little bit of a
Oh, yeah.
sponge, like a support right here,
Okay.
to kind of keep the leg in position so that you have a nice lateral. Right? If you don't have a sponge, then usually you will have the knee up slightly. Right? Because let's try and bring your knee all the way down. Are you able to?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So do you see how this over rotates?
Yeah.
Right. So we want to try and get a nice lateral like that instead.
Okay.
Okay.
It's still OID, just still good. Alright.
So a little bit of OID is okay, but you don't want something like
Yeah,
this,
not
right?
too much.
Because now this is no longer a lateral. Which you're just going to come down. Yep.
Too
Good.
natural.
Nice lateral.
It's a problem.
Okay. Go ahead and relax, Amy. Thank you.